So we want to remove all the barriers of getting us to practice. And for many of you, that means clearing off your schedule too. Okay, I'm going to clear this much time during the day for me to come do this thing. What is up, and welcome back to the Drum Show podcast. I'm Stephen Taylor. I'm a professional drummer, drum teacher, have been since the age of 15, been teaching the drum since 18. My online drum school's been going since 2013. So, and this podcast is all about answering your questions. And I want to, this is a big one for people that are especially late in life learners, but not just late in life learners. It can be those early in life, right? How do we go about learning the drums when we really don't have the time to learn the drums? You know, when we really don't have much spare time, but we have this desire and we have a need. We have a need to have some time by ourselves, to have some things that are just for us. That is something you need to do. How do we go about learning the drums if we only have 15 minutes a day? How do we do that? It's totally possible, by the way. Oh, it's not possible. Look, we gotta set realistic expectations. I have this much time to practice. This is what I'm going to do. So if you want to learn a new skill and you're very busy, what we want to do is set ourselves up so that it's very easy to jump into that new skill, so that if we have a spare 10 or 15 minutes, we can jump on the drum set, or we can grab that thing and we can just do it. And it doesn't take a lot of prep work. Like, this would be a good for, to learn the drums, you have to drive to another building across town. I've done this before, and practice. The drive takes 30 minutes there, 30 minutes back, and then, your practice time. Well, that's not very efficient, is it, right? So we want to have it set up. Every time I want to practice the drums, I have to build my drum set. Well, that sucks. Let's fix that, right? What we want to do is have it set up so that we are in close proximity with the instrument at the time that we want to practice. And then, and these sound like, well, duh, Stephen, but you would be surprised at the number of people I'm like, well, it's too hard to get to practicing. So we want to remove all the barriers of getting us to practice. And for many of you, that means clearing off your schedule too. Okay, I'm going to clear this much time during the day for me to come do this thing. So that's the biggest thing whenever we are limited on time, is making it so that it's easy to jump in and do that thing. Let me give you an example. I want to learn the guitar. I've wanted to learn the guitar for several years, and I've made several attempts. And this year, I'm like, look, this is dumb. It's just learning a few chords. I already know music theory. I went to music school. I can pick around on the piano. I know how to play the vibraphone. Like, I already know theoretically chords and how you build them and scales. Like, I know that part. Now I just need to apply it to the guitar. So I literally need to learn some fingerings and how to strum that guitar in a correct manner for me to be able to pick through some songs. I'm not talking about being, the next John Wayne of the guitar. He's a Queen of My Double Wide Trailer. It's an old country song. There's a line in there, it's hilarious. He's the Charlie Daniels of the Torque Wrench. Anyway, I don't need to be the Charlie Daniels of the Torque Wrench, right? I don't have to be the best. I just want to be able to pick around on it. So how am I going about doing that? Well, I was thinking about this because it was Thanksgiving and I had some time off. I was just like, okay, how do I make that? Well, I have the guitar in the house. Okay, thing number one, done. Okay, well, I'm going to need to tune it whenever I play it. Okay, cool. All we need to do, put a quick tuner on your phone. Okay, done. All right, but when? So there's this weird time period during my day. It's at night, and it's after like the family has done everything, and Kelly goes and does her like nighttime routine, and usually that involves taking some type of like a bubble bath, something like that's her time, and it's just this kind of odd time where I really don't have anything to do. It goes from like lots of activities, we've been hanging out, and now I'm just like, okay, well, I mean, it's that thing of like, well, I guess I could watch this. Well, I want to watch that with her. We do a lot of things together. So, and so I'm kind of stuck there. And it's like, well, I could scroll on my phone. I don't want to just waste time scrolling my phone. So I wind up just kind of like wandering around the house and going and, being like, hey, what you guys up to? And like, I'm just video gaming. Or last night my son was strumming on the guitar, and I'm like, man, okay. So that's my time. It's 15 or 20 minutes that's going to come almost every day. And it's like, okay. So if I make it easy and the guitar is available, I can just reach over, grab it, and then just kind of pluck on it. I can make use of that 15 minutes, and I can learn some chord changes. So that's my plan. Now, here's the second thing that I would encourage you to do if you don't have a lot of time. Attach it to, and we call this habit stacking. attach it to a habit that you already have. Okay, so there's going to be three things. The first is make it extremely easy to do, to get to and get started. The second thing is attach it to a habit that you already have. What does that look like? Okay, every day I eat lunch. Like there's some very, every day I wake up, that's a habit, Hopefully I keep doing that habit, right? And every day I go to bed. Every day I eat lunch of some sorts most of the time. Usually every day I have an afternoon coffee, whatever, a morning coffee or whatever that looks like for you. And so what I would do is go, okay, kind of like I'm doing. Every day, once we're done with the family stuff and Kelly goes to get ready for bed and take her bath or whatever she decides to do at that time, I'm going to practice the guitar. And then I'm going to go to bed. So not only that, I kind of sandwiched it in between two other things, right? It's time with the family, it's going to bed, and there's this kind of little area of time where it's like, okay, what am I going to do? So I attached it to another habit, which is my bedtime routine. I'm going to do it right before that. And then we're sandwiching in between another one, right? Making it easy, that kind of a thing.
This podcast is brought to you by the Drum Better Daily program. That's actually my online drum school that I've run now for 12 plus years. Not only have I been playing the drums professionally since the age of 15, I've been teaching since the age of 18. Matter of fact, I talked to one of my, my first student a few days ago. I actually called him to see if he could sub a gig out for me. Daniel, love you, man. And he's still playing. He's still doing it on a pro level. And I have been committed to teaching for 22 plus years now. I would love to have you go check it out at stevensdrumshed.com. You can find a link to that in the show notes or video description, whichever platform you're watching it on. But it truly is a community of like-minded drummers where we are striving to just be the best that we can be at the drums. In addition to over 70 pre-recorded drum courses, there's also a tech talk area where we talk about everything technology related as it pertains to the drums, e-kits, recording, doing videos, all of that stuff. There are forums where you can hang out with the other students as well. We do 2 live video student calls every week that you can join if you'd like to. We do guest artist calls monthly, and I'll even make you a personalized lesson plan if that's what you need. Yes, we talk about the nuts and bolts of drumming. Yes, I give you exercises, but we also talk a lot about how to practice more efficiently, how to practice better, and how to get more out of your practice time. I know you're just like me. You're busy, you're being pulled by work, by family, by friends, by other responsibilities. Whenever you practice, you really want to see gains and have it be productive. That is what we focus on in the Drum Better Daily program. I'll have to say personally, it's been really cool because some of these students I've worked with for over 12 years, we started running drum camps here in 2022, and I got to meet some of them in person for the first time. Those drum camps have been selling out, blowing my mind with how much fun they are and how great a time it is to bring the community together in person. I'd love to have you be a part of it.
So it can look like every day when I get done with lunch, I have an extra 30-minute lunch break. I'm going to take 15 minutes and eat because it doesn't take that long. In 15 minutes, I'm going to reach out and grab, the practice pad, and I'm going to work on that. Whatever that looks like for you. So we have made it very easy and accessible to do. We have stacked it with another habit, and that makes it very easy for you to succeed and do that. And then the third thing is, I lost my train of thought there for a second. The third thing is you want to make it a small amount of time. So we're talking when you first start like 5 or 10 minutes, that's it. And I actually want you to only do that much each day for a couple of weeks. Now why? It's not very hard to go from 5 minutes of a habit that you've ingrained to 20 minutes. That's actually pretty easy because now you kind of get in there and you're like, well, here, I kind of want to keep doing it, right? You can do, like you sit down to, play the drums and you look up, you're like, oh my gosh, 2 hours is gone. Like I'm late or whatever that looks like. That happens all the time to us, right? We get involved with something, we're enjoying it, we're learning it, and then time goes away. And so what I want you to do is commit to just a very small amount of time, just 5 minutes, just 10 minutes. Because in your mind you go, I can do 5 minutes. Okay, well then you show up, and because you're busy and you're successful, obviously because you're busy and you got a lot of things going on, then you're gonna wanna do more time, right? So going from 0 to 5 minutes regularly is kind of hard because that's starting a new habit. Taking the habit and magnifying it, that's not very hard. That's actually pretty easy, right? So the three things, again, we're going to go over. Make it easy and accessible. The second thing is attach it to another habit you already have. And the third thing is make it a very low entry point when it comes to the amount of time you're going to start doing it. And then do that for 2 or 3 weeks and then start increasing the time as you've established that habit. If you do that, it doesn't matter how busy you are, you will have time to do it. Now, here's a talk I've had with other people. High-performing professionals, stay-at-home moms. There's a lot of guilt that goes with that. Of I shouldn't have time for myself. You should. My wife's a stay-at-home mom. I try to make sure she has her time. It's very important for her to have her things that she does, that are outside of the family, and you don't have to be on the clock 24/7. And so the conversation I have with others is they go, I just don't have any time. And I just have to level with them, go, if you do not have 5 or 10 minutes to do something that you enjoy and do it just for you every day, you are too busy and you have bigger problems than not learning the drums. You need to figure your life out. You need to figure your schedule out. And I'm talking to myself too, because there's things that I want to do and I look back and I'm like, man, I'm not carving that time out. I'm not managing my time very effectively. I'm over committed. That's a lot of times what I have to look at. So be realistic. And if you will do those 3 things, I promise you, even if you only have 10 or 15 minutes every day, you're going to be able to learn the drums. If you need some help with that, I would love to help you. I've got an online drum school. You can follow the links below to check out more about that. I also do in-person drum camps. Would love to have you come one of those. Registration is open for the 2025 season. Or you can just shoot me a question, help@stevensdrumshed.com. I answer all of the questions I get.